Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Journal on North Andover CAM. I'm Morgan Healy.
And I'm Ron Carpenito.
And this is our 4th episode of the Journal and our May episode, which means we're getting ready for some great weather and some exciting things happening in North Andover.
And after a long winter, we wanted to get outside, and what better place to go than one of North Andover's unique and special hidden gems. Our spring excursion takes us to the Ward Reservation, where we visited with our host for the day, John Kimball.
Well, my grandmother was Mrs. Ward, and she was the widow of Charles Ward, who bought the land here and the farmhouse up behind me in 1917, when he retired from business. And he loved this place. It was for him a gentleman's farm. He spent his winters in Brookline. But before he died in 1933, he asked his wife to see if there was some way that the land could be preserved for people in the future to enjoy. And so a year later, she learned of the organization called the Trustees of Reservations and began negotiations with them. And so in 1940, she deeded to them 150 acres of his farm to be named in honor of him as the Charles Ward Reservation. And then through subsequent years, she added additional parcels to it. We've got the reservation up to 704 acres, about evenly split between North Andover and the town of Andover. The part of the reservation had been on the south side, but the north side had been the ski area and then abandoned. And Brightview has granted in perpetuity to keep it as open space, and already we're building a network of trails and clearing invasive species out of it. So even though it's not formally part of the Ward Reservation, its trails connect our trails. And Brightview set aside 5 designated parking spaces for hikers at the end of their parking lot at the base of the trail, so that North Andover people, instead of coming all the way into Andover to the main parking lot, can pull in there and hike on up and enter the reservation that way. But we have 2 things that really set us apart. One is Holt Hill behind us, which is the highest hill in Essex County, and the other is Pine Hole Bog, which is the deepest quaking bog in eastern Massachusetts. I thought years ago that this is really a unique spot down here and we ought to make it accessible, which it wasn't. So we built a 700-foot boardwalk from dry land through the various zones of bog life succession all the way out to the open water, and set up numbered stations along the boardwalk, and I wrote a booklet to describe the features at each of those numbered stations, and it's been enormously popular. There are now 14 miles of trails that we keep open for people to enjoy, and one of them is of particular interest to me because it's one segment of the Bay Circuit Trail. In 1911, I believe it was, my grandmother took my mother and my uncle to England, and they visited Stonehenge, and my grandmother said, "I want one." So at the very same year that the reservation was founded, she had assembled stones that she had gathered from one place or another and called them the solstice stones. And they consist of a north stone, which I'm pointing to here, in the south, and stones pointing east and west. But the actual solstice stones are these long, skinny stones. And the one I'm standing on here points to the spot on the horizon where the sun rises on the longest day of the year in June, around June 21st, and it goes through the sky and sets in line with this stone that night. And then things start deteriorating, and the sun moves farther and farther in this direction until you reach the autumnal equinox, when the sun rises due east and sets due west, and the day and nights are of exactly equal length. And then the sun continues to move until finally, on December 21st, the shortest day of the year, it rises in line with this stone and creeps up into the sky as best it can and sets in line with this stone over here.
And we'd like to say thank you to our host, John Kimball, our videographer, Julian Lathrop, and the Friends of North Andover Trails. For more information about Ward Reservation, including hours and trail maps, go to the Trustees of Reservations website at ttor.org and search for the Ward Reservation.
Now let's take some time to check in with Jen and Tara and find out what's coming up in the local entertainment scene in May.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, North Andover.
Welcome back to our second entertainment episode on the Journal. I'm Jen.
And I'm Tara, and that was our entertainment helper, Megan.
My daughter.
We're so excited to celebrate the month of May and the great arts and entertainment coming up here in North Andover.
April showers bring May flowers, and what better way to celebrate Mother's Day and an ending to a long winter than going out to see a local show or festival?
So true. And coming up this month on May 3rd and 4th, St. Michael's School is performing Hot Hot Fairy Tales, written 15 years ago by St. Michael's computer teacher, Mrs. Kuchu. And it's inspired by her favorite song, Hot Hot Hot. And I think that's a wonderful way to send her off for her retirement.
Absolutely. Sounds like this show is going to be
hot, hot, hot. For more information, please visit their website at www.stmichael.com. Acting Out Theater Company also has a couple productions this month. Motherhood Out Loud, which premieres May 4th.
Out Loud.
Out loud!
If there's any other way.
They also have a teen production this month of Urinetown, May 16th through the 18th. And here's a quick rehearsal clip of what they're working on. Tickets can be purchased at their website, www.actingouttheater.com.
So Tara, on the music front, Merrimack Valley Philharmonic is performing the Mendelssohn Double Piano Concerto No. 2 in E-flat major with sister soloists Yuki and Kiko Sakino at the Rogers Center May 4th.
And I hear through the grapevine that you may be performing at this concert. Is this true, Jen?
Yes, it is. You'll catch me in the violin section on that one. So for more information, visit their website at www.mvpomusic.org. It's a premiere performance. You will not see this elsewhere in the United States. Also catch the Glenn Miller Orchestra performing at the Rogers Center on May 10th. Refer to their website, www.merrimack.edu.
And here at the North Andover High School, the Drama Guild is performing Once on This Island on May 8th through the 11th. For tickets and information, visit their website at www.nhsdrama.com. And you definitely want to come and support your local high school. There's so much talent here, and you don't want to miss out on that opportunity.
Very talented bunch, Tara. On the music front again, a jazz night featuring the middle school and high school jazz bands will also feature guest artists Tatum Greenblatt and local musicians from the area. You can catch this one on May 15th.
And on May 18th, this is the one I'm really excited about, the annual Sheep Shearing and Arts Festival. Woohoo! Yahoo! Featuring local craftsmen and artisans from all over New England. There's going to be sheep shearing demos, face painting and pony rides, and food and more. So
what's not to love about that?
Exactly. It's a great chance to enjoy some local art and family fun. And for more information, check out eventlester.com.
So, if you don't get to see any of these shows this month,
shame on you!
That wraps up our entertainment segment for this time.
And we just want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you moms out there.
These are my little cherubs.
And here is mine, and yes, that is a puppy.
A very cute one.
And your children are cute too.
Thank you.
Well, until next time.
We'll see you next month on the Journal.
Cheers to you, North Andover.
Cheers, you moms out there.
You know, Jen and Tara have so much fun. Why can't we have drinks here?
They really do. I
Yeah.
think that we should talk to someone about that. I like those little umbrellas.
Carrie, get on that.
Come on, guys. Well, it's not the only fun thing that's been happening, and certainly for the spring, there's a lot going on. April was National Poetry Month, and former poet laureate Gail Henney hosted a unique event at the Stevens Memorial Library, where local writers of all ages were encouraged to read their poems. There was also an art exhibit featuring poems attached to cereal boxes. The whole goal of this event was to get people to think about starting their day off with poetry.
El Camino Spring Dust Off was held Saturday, April 25th at Jimmy's Famous Pizza on Osgood Street. In spite of rainy weather, the turnout was great, and as you can see by the pictures, the classic cars were a feast for the eyes. The El Camino Owner Association is located right here in North Andover, and if you'd like to learn more, check out their website, elcaminocentral.com.
Now let's turn things over to Lisa Ritchie for this month's fitness update.
Hi everyone, and welcome to this month's fitness segment. I'm Lisa Ritchie, and I'm thrilled to be here at Pure Barre North Andover. I'm with Carrie, who's the studio lead, and Mo, who's the studio coordinator. So I've heard a ton about barre. Everyone's talking about it. It's super popular right now, and I really want to learn more about it and see if it's something that I want to get started on. And I want to bring that information to you, our viewers, as well. So Carrie, Mo, thanks for having us in the studio today.
It's great to have you.
Thank you. So I know you haven't been here for that long. When is it that you settled into this space?
We opened our doors September 6th, so about 7 months ago.
Not here for long, but you already have this loyal following. It seems like everyone that tries it out comes back for more. Mm-hmm. So I want to see what that's all about. I've come prepared. I'm going to try out some moves, and we're going to get to that. But first, I thought we'd start with, what is barre, and what kind of classes do you offer to your clients?
So all of our classes are Pure Barre classes. They're all taught to the same level. So you come to a class that is convenient for your schedule. We have classes at 5:30 in the morning, 7:30 at night. So whatever time works for you is the time that you want to come and take a class. Every class is 55 minutes long, so you're in and out the door in an hour. And it focuses on different sections of a woman's body, your arms, your abs, your thighs, and your seat, working each muscle group to a point of fatigue where your muscle is shaking and then the muscle gets stretched out. A lot of times we use your own body weight for resistance in the class. We have all of the equipment here in the studio that you need to bring. We have the mats, we supply the weights, the tubes, everything else we have here. The only thing you need to bring with you for a class is a pair of socks.
So as a new person coming in, what fitness level do I have to have in order to participate?
You can be at any level of fitness. We have all kinds of different modifications to either make things more challenging or less challenging. If we have tons of clients who have, knee injuries or hip replacements or bad backs, and for every kind of injury that we run across, we have a modification. So we say if you can hold on to the bar, you can do Pure Barre.
Okay, excellent. I know you mentioned it works some of the female body parts. Does that mean that it's only females that join the class?
No, don't have to be. Males are welcome too.
I'm sure you can appreciate that it can be somewhat intimidating walking into a new class for the first time, you've never done it, and you just feel like everyone there is already an expert. To make people feel a little bit more comfortable with that, I know you said you have all the equipment here, everything that's needed. How do you dress? How did I do today? Like how should we come for the class?
You did perfect.
Okay.
When you come in for a class, you just need to have some kind of a legging or a capri that comes below your knees, and a tank top or whatever kind of a shirt that you're comfortable with, and like Carrie said before, a pair of socks, and that's it. A good attitude and you're ready to go.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. I'm ready to get into the fun part, hopefully, which is for you to show me some moves. I'm going to do it side by side with you. I'm a complete novice. I'll put that out there. And let's get to it, and anyone at home could do it along with us.
Yes. Okay, we're going to start off our lesson here explaining something that you'll hear us say over and over and over in a Pure Barre class. That's the word tuck. When you tuck, you want to start with your feet hip width apart and parallel. Soften the bend in your knees and bring your hip bones up towards your rib cage so your back is completely flat. You want to try to eliminate any of that arch from your lower back. When you tuck, it's a movement of bringing your hips up to your rib cage, decreasing the space. It's a very, very small movement, so the people who you see who aren't looking like they're moving are the ones doing it right. So grab your red ball. Place the ball high between your inner thighs. Bring your right hand onto the bar. Your left hand comes to your hips. Bring your heels together, your toes apart.
Rise high onto your tippy toes. Glue your heels back together. Bend your knees, sink your seat down towards knee level. With a heavy tailbone, squeeze the ball. And squeeze in, hold. Squeeze in, freeze. So you're squeezing on the ball with your inner thighs. Try not to let the ball return to its original shape. Your chest and chin are lifted, keeping good posture. Now squeeze to tempo. And squeeze and squeeze. If your muscles start to shake, that's your working zone. You want to stay in that shaky muscle zone the whole time. Hold the squeeze, tuck your hips. It's tuck and tuck. Think about rolling your hip bones underneath you. Bring your left arm forward in front, making a fist. You have one more change to the end of the exercise. Hold the tuck, just pulse. It's down and down. Tiny little movements. Feel this burn your inner and outer thighs. 10 more, here's 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent work.
Well, I think that was great. I accomplished what I wanted to do today, which was find out more about BAR and bring it to our audience. So thank you very much, Carrie and
You're
Mo,
welcome.
for having us to the studio. If anyone else wants to find out more about BAR and the classes, where should they go?
Our local website is the best way to get the most up-to-date information about our class times. We also have a Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Pure Barre North Andover, and there's an app for the iPhone and Android.
Very good. I had fun today. Thank you, and thank you very much for watching.
Thanks so much, ladies. We're so happy to hear about that segment. Now let's hear from Lester Rugg for Senior Moments.
Good evening or good day, whichever the case may be on airing of this particular news segment. Want to mention that this is Older Americans Month, and on this note, we're digging for information out of our current bulletin, the Four Seasons, that is published every 3 months. And then we also have a newsletter that comes out once a month. Going to touch on a few highlights, if I may. Let's see here. Where can we start? Lots of good things happening. Supper Club, May 15th. Glenview Pub and Grill. Mother's Day dinner, May 6th. Provided by our local restaurant. The girls are getting all excited about this. By the way, Tom Kuchen, our local computer instructor, is back from Florida. He's available for one-on-one instruction. Very popular individual, and may I say, he's probably one of the best instructors that I've ever came in contact with for this kind of endeavor. On another note, men's breakfast. It's going to be in May. Men's breakfast is every month, first Thursday of the month. Mystery Ride, May 8th. We have things going everywhere. Hearing Clinic meets third Wednesday of every month. 15-minute segments. Call for an appointment. And the Senior Center shuttle. Sometimes you feel like you're trapped. You can't either get down here or get back. We've designed a program we call in advance, and we'll pick you up in the morning, bring you down here. You might even want to take advantage of our lunch, and transportation leaves after lunch is over. So whatever programs are on in the morning, you can take advantage of, and it's a popular direction to go. Another thing to think about is just get to know us. Our program is designed to meet your needs, and we're looking forward to seeing you. And on that note, it's all the news of the day.
Thank you, Lester. And now with our GovCam update, we go to Town Manager Andrew Mailer.
Welcome to this month's installment of the Journal. I'm Town Manager Andrew Mailer, and I figured I'd take the opportunity of the improving weather and the springtime to talk a little bit about the town's roads. I know that through the winter months it's certainly difficult to get around to the community, and the spring can be no different given the level of potholes and other improvements that need to be made. I want you to know that the town does have a program to address these kinds of issues, both the short term in terms of potholes and roadway improvements, and the long term making improvements to all of the town's roadways. It's probably important to understand two primary facts. First, the town's primary source for improving roadways is Chapter 90 funding. Chapter 90 funding is provided by the state. Every community receives Chapter 90 funding. Approximately 60% of that funding is a function of the roadway miles in the community, which is approximately 150 roadway miles here in North Andover. About 20% is a function of our population and 20% a function of employment. And through that calculation, the state distributes dollars to each community. In fiscal 2015, the amount for our roadways is approximately $825,000. That number has increased by about $100,000 over the last 5 years. So over the next 5 years, if you look at that $825,000, the town will spend a minimum of $4 million on its roadways. One particular important note relative to that is most communities just spend the Chapter 90 dollars. They don't supplement those dollars for additional work. That's not a criticism to other communities, but for the town of North Andover, we've made a conscious effort through our capital plan to supplement those Chapter 90 dollars with additional capital funding. So over the next 5 years, we're going to spend $5 million rather than $4 million, probably a little over $5 million, to make sure that we do more roadways than what would traditionally be done. In terms of prioritization, we hire a consulting firm who evaluates our roadways every 5 years and comes back with a comprehensive plan in terms of prioritizing which roadways should be improved first. This is everything from what's called crack sealing, those lines on the pavement sometimes you see, to full curb-to-curb replacement. So I want the residents to understand that it's not arbitrary, it's not political. We, with the help of an independent consultant, evaluate our roadways relative to condition and use, and then create a 5-year plan for the replacement or improvement of those roadways. So at any one time, if you contacted Public Works or contacted my office, you'd be able to understand whether or not your street or any particular street in town was going to be improved. Every 5 years, we update that plan to make sure that we include the roads that have been improved and any changes in terms of vehicular traffic or use that may change the plan. So we have a conscious and legitimate and scripted method to address the roadway concerns here in North Andover, and I think the additional investment that has been approved through the capital improvement plan will make sure that our roadways will be superior roadways to drive on by our residents and by those people who come to business here in North Andover. So that's this update on the Journal, and I look forward to talking to you next month.
Thank you, Mr. Mailer. And now let's check in with Sergeant Mike Davis of the North Andover Police Department.
Good afternoon. We're here today to talk about the Project Lifesaver program, which we offer to the citizens of the town of North Andover. It provides police, fire, and rescue personnel with a comprehensive program that includes equipment and training to quickly locate and rescue at-risk individuals with disorders such as Alzheimer's, Down syndrome, and autism. Currently, the North Andover Police Department has 7 clients on the program. We have 5 children and 2 adults. The children have cognitive disorders. We have 2 that have autism and the other 3 Down syndrome. We also have 2 adults in the program that are diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Generally what would happen is we'd get a 911 call from a family member saying that the adult or child that's on our program has wandered. So at that point, we would activate the, we usually have at least a couple of officers on each shift that are on the Project Lifesaver unit. We would send them to the area, give them the name and description and the frequency of the individual client. They would head out with the equipment. We would have it all entered, and they'd begin a search immediately. So we've activated our Project Lifesaver team. We're responding here to the scene. His last known location is right here in one of these residences. So what we're going to do is turn on our unit. Okay, so the first step in the search is going to be, I'm going to have to perform a 360-degree turn with this equipment, at the same time watching my receiver to see the signal strength. And this appears to be the direction that I'm getting the highest signal, so that's the area we're going to head forward and try to locate this gentleman. And as I'm doing the search at the same time, and I would have other officers with me in a actual search, but I'm also looking for visually to see if I can see any potential victims. This is a perfect example of when you could put on the headphones, connect them to the receiver, and any of that outside noise wouldn't pose a distraction. Okay, our signal is getting stronger in this direction, so we're going to try this. And at this point, as I look ahead, I believe I see our victim sitting at a bench. So at this point, we have him in sight. We would call for an ambulance, make sure he gets the medical attention, and alert the families that he's been located. We're getting a 99% signal right here. So we're right there, and he's got the transmitter on his wrist. Okay, so we've shown a demonstration of how this equipment works, and if anybody has a family member that they're interested in this program, they can contact me, Sergeant Mike Davis at the North Andover Police. My email is mdavis@napd.us. Our business line is 978-683-3168, or you can also go on Project Lifesaver's website, which is projectlifesaver.org.
Thank you, Sergeant Davis. And last month, Congressman John Tierney paid a visit to the North Andover Senior Center as part of the Senior Center's lecture series. He spoke with seniors and held an open forum to discuss the issues affecting older Americans. Morgan?
This month, we have a few updates from Tim McCarthy over at the North Andover Citizen.
North Andover resident Oscar Camargo and Phil DiCollegiero have announced their plans to run for the 14th Essex District State Representative seat this November. Both candidates are running as Democrats and will challenge incumbent Deanna DiZoglio of Methuen this fall. No Republican challengers have currently stepped forward.
The Massachusetts Department of Conservation and Recreation planned to cut down about 50 ash trees on a small parcel of public land that has become home to the emerald ash borer. It's a beetle that now resides in North Andover. The emerald ash borer, a beetle native to Asia, feeds upon ash trees that are common throughout New England. Although not a direct menace to people, they can quickly kill off large populations of ash trees, since none of their predators exist naturally here in the Americas. The emerald ash borer is currently isolated to a small wooded area near the intersection of Route 125, as we mentioned on one of our last episodes, and 133 here in North Andover, just on the outskirts of Lake Achickawick and the Stevens Estate. Besides knocking down the trees, the DCR will release 2 predators of the emerald ash borer into the town's ecosystem and possibly spray emerald ash borer pesticides in addition. The Board of Selectmen supported the plan pending approval for pesticide use by the Conservation Commission. Ron?
Town meeting is set to take place on Tuesday, May 20th at 7 p.m. in the North Andover High School Auditorium at 430 Osgood Street. A total of 33 articles will appear for vote on the warrant this year. Highlights in the proposed $86.5 million town budget for 2015 include a proposed addition of tuition-free all-day kindergarten for the school district and the construction of a new fire station according to the town manager's facilities master plan. The warrant will also include proposed zoning bylaws for medical marijuana facilities and windmills within town, as well as a citizen's petition to purchase the Berry Street Farm located off Route 114.
The town's historical commission voted 5-1 at their March 10th meeting to rescind their demolition delay of the Bradstreet School. Many of folks in North Andover will be happy to hear that. The commission invoked the demolition delay last September to protect the Bradstreet School, a very treasured place here in our town. The building was very, very, very popular during the early years of my generation, and this commission, after learning that the property developer chose by the Board of Selectmen, the Hearthstone Realty Corporation, they had planned to demolish the schoolhouse and were very upset about this. The selectmen sold the school and associated the grounds of the school to the Hearthstone Company for $300,000 back in 2013, after voters at a prior town meeting voted in favor of its sale. Hearthstone, following the demolition of the school, plans to construct 2 new buildings on the property for commercial uses and rental apartments. Hearthstone representatives met with members of the commission and public in April to take ideas for proposed memorial to the schoolhouse somewhere on the new development.
Somerville-based property developer RCG announced in March they purchased the West Mill property located at 1 High Street. RCG principal David Steinberg said his company had purchased the West Mill after the property's prior owners couldn't lock in further long-term leases with Schneider Electric or Converse Shoes. RCG also owns the adjacent East Mill property, which features apartments and a number of local restaurants. Steinberg says the forthcoming departure of those corporations has opened up space within the mill for new uses, new construction, and potentially all new types of businesses. Steinberg said the property would likely be marketed towards small and medium-sized businesses going forward, along with some space for residential apartment developments. One potential wildcard development that could come to West Mill, according to Steinberg, is a hotel featuring up to 50 rooms. Schneider Electric and Converse, two major corporations currently renting space at the mill, announced their plans to depart last year. Schneider Electric will move to a property in Andover later this month, while Converse would depart in March 2015 for a new Boston office. We're going to wrap things up with the CAM event calendar and fill you in on some things that are coming up in the next month. Friday, May 2nd, from 6 to 9 p.m., the MSPCA is holding its annual Hair of the Dog Benefit art show and wine tasting event at the Essex Art Center. Proceeds benefit the MSPCA at Nevins Farm. For more information, call Julia Pesic at 978-687-7453, extension 6161, or Sherry Hellman at 978-475-3636. May 3rd is National Two Different Colored Shoe Day. Sounds like fun.
It does.
Yeah, it goes without saying what you are supposed to do, of course. By the way, May is also National Hamburger and National Barbecue Month, my favorite month of the year. If you are wondering, there's no National Cheeseburger Month, but there is a National Cheeseburger Day in September. Watch this space for more food-related holiday information.
Well, I'm a little bit distracted. I'm excited about that.
I'm hungry.
I had no idea. I will definitely be celebrating myself. May 2nd through the 4th, the Friends of the Stevens Memorial Library here in North Andover hold their semi-annual book sale. Friday from 4 to 7 p.m., Saturday from 9 to 4 p.m., and Sunday from 12 to 3. May 4th is the Spring Sprint Duathlon at Small Act Farms to benefit the North Andover Youth Center. The event includes a road race, a road bike leg, and a trail run on the farm property. For more information, go to springduathlon.com. May 4th is also the North Andover Sustainability Committee's 13th annual Earth Day cleanup from 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. To participate, make sure to send an email to northandoversc@gmail.com.
May 10th is Letter Carriers Stamp Out Hunger Day. Leave canned goods in your mailbox or drop them off at your local post office. This is the largest one-day food collection in the United States. And just a reminder, May 11th is Mother's Day. Send Mom a card or call.
You know, that came up kind of fast.
I know. It's just sneaking up right on us.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Me neither.
We have to think of
We'll
something
get
good.
on that, yeah.
We'll brainstorm together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And May 13th, of course, at 7 p.m., the Parents Resource Network presents What Works and What Doesn't with today's kids and what to expect once they are teenagers. Definitely an important topic. The program is at North Andover High School Auditorium, and admission is free.
Earlier, we talked about the Sheep Shearing Festival here in North Andover, but we wanted to mention also that the Historical Society will have an open house on that same day, May 18th. The Society has their headquarters across from the Old Town Common and will be open from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. that day. So be sure to stop by and see all the different exhibits, the main gallery, and browse the gift shop, as well as try out the history Discovery Room. Everyone is welcome, all adults and children alike, and the best part about it, it's free. Now also, the 13th annual North Andover Special Olympics Track and Field Games is being held at North Andover Middle School on Wednesday, May 21st from 9 a.m. until noon. This is a great event that happens every year, and parents, friends, and the public are all welcome to come down, enjoy in the festivities, and to cheer on our very own special North Andover athletes. This event is very close to my heart, and I know that everyone who goes will really enjoy it. If you want to volunteer at the event, contact Kathy Keith at northandovercrusaders@gmail.com.
Thank you, Morgan. And the North Andover Historical Society will be holding its annual fundraisers and social affair on June 1st from 2 to 5 at the Rolling Ridge Conference Center. Called a Roaring Twenties House Party, the event will include live music, food and beverages, and a tour of the historic conference center. The Society will also be giving its first Lifetime Preservation Achievement Award to Bob Stevens, a lifelong resident of North Andover and a supporter of the Society and the preservation of the history of North Andover. Tickets for the event go on sale to the public on May 1st. Look on the Historical Society's website, northandoverhistoricalsociety.org, for more information. That's it for this month. If you have an event you want to be mentioned on our show, email us with all the information to thejournal@northandovercam.org.
We're really excited to hear from you. Until next time, for the North Andover Journal, my name is Morgan Healy.
And I'm Ron Carpenito.
Thanks so much for watching.